I think the Breakfast Club made a mistake. So they signed that big deal. So Charlamagne signed a $200 million extension with iHeart for him and his Black Excellence podcast network. And then after that, iHeartRadio signed an exclusive deal with Netflix, where the Breakfast Club and Charlamagne's Black Excellence Network podcasts all go to Netflix. The rub is they can no longer upload clips on YouTube or videos on YouTube. So right now, if you go to the Breakfast Club's YouTube page, you get a clip, like a 4-minute clip of an interview, and you get the audio of their show. But before, you got the video interviews, you got the full show, and you can't undervalue the importance of YouTube being a free platform where you get all this traffic, free content. You can go viral at any second. I don't know why you would leave something like that. And that's what Jess Hilarious, who's on the Breakfast Club with Envy and Charlamagne, she brought that up. She's saying since they've been on Netflix, the interaction they've gotten from the fans has gone down, because their audience is basically Gen Z. It's Gen Z, probably some millennials, but mostly Gen Z. And if you ask a Gen Z person what's their top 3 favorite platforms to use, or top 4, I don't know if Netflix is on that tier. and the fear is, because I don't know how long their contract is with Netflix. If they stay there too long, the fear is, I think Just Hilarious sees this, is that there might be a younger version of the Breakfast Crew that pops up, of the Breakfast Club that pops up on YouTube or some of a radio show that the Gen Z audience will find even more appealing. And by the time the Breakfast Club gets out of their Netflix deal and come back to YouTube, it might be too late. Like a person there's 2 guys who figured this out. One was Joe Budden. New Joe Budden. Like Joe Budden, he has his. So when Joe Budden does his shows, you can only get them through the Patreon. So if you're one of those people who say, "Hey, I gotta hear what Joe says about this certain subject," the only way you can hear it is through Patreon. So you pay for that a month. It's not that much, but you pay for it and you see Joe's videos and things like that. And then a week later, they pop up on YouTube. So sometimes there might be a hot topic that people discuss like a week earlier, and then his video pops up. It's like, well, why is it taking so long? Because it's like he's giving his Patreon audience the ability to pay and watch these videos first, and then the YouTube audience get it secondary. But it's a smart move because he still stays connected to YouTube. Joe Rogan's the same way. Joe Rogan I think he probably still did the highest paying podcast deal ever when he signed with Spotify. But quickly, Joe also realized, because Joe was huge on YouTube, and he realized very quickly, because Spotify was like, well, you're exclusive to us. So no YouTube anymore, you're exclusive to Spotify. And it's paying Joe like $200 million or something like that. So he said, okay, fine, I don't care. But he also realized his reach with his audience went down because he was just on Spotify, because the bulk of his fans were still on YouTube. So he negotiated a new deal. I think it was like $250 million with Spotify. But the caveat is now he's back on iTunes, he's back on YouTube, and now his reach is back to where it was before. That's why I don't understand Netflix. I understand Netflix to a certain extent that you want exclusive content. I totally understand it. But at the same time, when it comes to podcasting, you are hoping that someone that's watching The Breakfast Club is going to subscribe to Netflix, and it's not going to work, especially if you're Gen Z. Maybe if they're Gen X, maybe if they're millennials, but definitely not Gen Z. So I think one or two things have to happen. I don't think the Breakfast Club, if they can break their contract, it'd be great, but they can't, because it's a iHeart partnership. But I think the best thing is try to convince Netflix, listen, we know we're exclusive here, but can we at least do the Joe Budden model, where we're on Netflix for the initial week, and then the week later, our interviews end up on YouTube. I still think it hurts them, because with Gen Z, they want things fast and immediate. But I think that's a smart move by Netflix to help out the Breakfast Club, and maybe it could bring some people over to Netflix as subscribers. Or the Breakfast Club just have to finish out their contract, no matter how long it goes, and go do the Joe Rogan thing, and then go back. The problem is, if they go back, will they still have an audience?